there are managers who basically manage. I mean, 10 people is usually where we go. So you'll have like if you had 30 people, you would have 3 people that are managing smaller teams of 10 each. And then those 3 people are going to be reporting up to whoever the next level is. And while you can end up having managers manage managers doing that, I do think that there's a reason that we have management, and there are different skills. The people that are on the team doing the thing at the line level, having the conversations with the customers or inventing the products or whatever.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Roland Frazier and Ryan Dice here with another episode of Business Lunch. And we were thinking of fun things to do. We've got a couple of cool ideas. This one is coming off of both of us checking an article out that was the unconventional ways Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and other tech leaders like to run their companies. But first, how you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. I'm actually
Yeah.
like completely overwhelmed. So, I like to do like a 30-day vacation every year.
Uh-huh.
Like that's kind of one of the things that we teach to all of our founders board members. Like that's how you know that like you've actually built a company that can scale. Not doing that officially this year. It's kind of getting broken up into 2 because of pesky like college stuff. But yeah, so I'm technically in the middle of a vacation, but like I'm in the middle of a vacation break. It's all just sort of mangled. But no, life is good. What about you?
Good. Well, I want to point out that my guess is that you are taking a 30-day vacation from several of the businesses, but because we have portfolios of companies and have lots of different companies that we're involved with, there isn't any one, I'm guessing, that you're not, there isn't anyone that you're working in more than 11 months of the year, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
I just just because you like you said, our thing is to do that. I want everybody to understand we do live in integrity with what we teach, because if you don't get a 30-day solid vacation break, which I think is what you're talking about, one of the things that we talk about, it's because you already have that from multiple companies that you've already started, scaled, and put operating systems into, right?
Yeah, well, and this year, like I was technically gone, like last week we were gone, and then kind of had to come back this one because my son has like school stuff, like college type stuff. So we sort of had to cut our vacation. And I guess what I'm saying is it's his fault. It's the kid's fault that we can't go on freaking vacation.
Well, which really leads to the bigger theme: children ruin everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst.
That's really
but no, yeah. So it's this kind of little blip where. And it's hard, man. We talk about this a lot. Like I enjoy work. Part of the reason that I like to get away for 30 minutes is 30 minutes for 30 days. That was maybe a little bit Freudian. Part of the reason I like to get away for 30 days is because it forces me to break that habit of just wanting to stay in that cycle of work. Because I do like it, but it's also good to separate yourself from it. Because I just find that I think differently. I process different issues. I come back with renewed, refreshed energy and things like that. So it's a little bit of a cheat week in a kind of bizarro entrepreneurial perspective. Like I'm eating my dessert in the middle of my vacation, which is called work. And I'm oddly enjoying it.
I like it. Well, speaking of unorthodox management philosophies, how do you like that for a transition?
Good pivot.
This was kind of interesting, and so I thought it'd be fun for us to riff on it a little bit. Just what is it that, what are some of these people who are some of the top entrepreneurs, or they're heralded as the top best SEOs? One of them was called the CEO of a generation. What are they doing, and how is it different from what most people do? And would it work for you, or are they outer space alien unicorns that works for them? But first, step 1, invent Tesla and Facebook, and step 2, where step 1 is really hard. It's like, I like those things because it's like, you can have the success of Jeff Bezos. Here's his morning routine. It's like, well, yeah, and be the person that invents Amazon, right?
Yeah, so much of this is, I do think articles like these are fun, but it does start, it seems, from a basic misunderstanding of correlation and causation. Um,
Yes.
and like, yeah, if I will just manage my business like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, then clearly I too will have $100 billion company.
Equals billions. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I do think it's important. I love that we're talking about this. I think it's going to be a fun discussion. I do think that there's going to be lessons. At the same time, the basis of this is a whole lot of survivorship bias. I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of the things that we're talking about are things that you know failed CEOs have tried as well. But
Well,
I
and
do still think it's interesting.
some of them counter what the others do, right?
Yeah,
As you might, it's the look before you leap, but he who hesitates is lost. So um, here's the first one. Bezos employed the two pizza rule to limit teams to only as many people as could be fed with two pizzas, assuming that you got 8 slices per pizza, and I don't know how many slices there are pizza, but let's assume there's 8, and you have two pizzas, and everybody has two pieces. That's 8 people, right? What do you think about that?
um, yeah. I mean, I've found that smaller teams tend to perform better. That as teams grow in size and you get more bloat, and especially to me, it's less about the size of a team because you think about a sales team. A sales team could have, you might have 10 people, but they all do the same thing. Same with like customer, service departments. They could be really large, but everybody's doing the same thing. So I found it's less about team size and it's more about team layers. So if within a team you've got managers managing managers managing managers, and then there's some interns down below who are doing all the work, that I've seen only never work. So yes, I do think that as teams grow in size, that is problematic. Less though because of the size, more because of the bureaucracy and people playing politics. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think also because there, like you said, we've got companies that have 100 plus people doing a function like sales or customer service,
Right.
but in those groups there are managers who basically manage. I mean, 10 people is usually where we go. So you'll have like if you had 30 people, you would have 3 people that are managing smaller teams of 10 each, and then those 3 people are going to be reporting up to whoever the next level is. And while you can end up having managers manage managers doing that, I do think that there's a reason that we have management, and there are different skills. The people that are on the team doing the thing at the line level, having the conversations with the customers or inventing the products or whatever, those are different kinds of people than the people who know how to manage them and get them motivated and productive. And so I think that having those small teams, like if you've got 100 people and you've got 10 person teams, I do like that. And I think 10 is kind of the upper limit of the number. And what I like about that is that then the teams can be competitive. They can be held accountable to each other. They can be graded and standard costed, like in terms of performance, having typical managerial accounting standard times to do things, standard results, etc., that are normalized against the other teams. And then the managers are aware of how their teams are performing against other teams that are doing the same work. Best practices can be shared by the managers in a management mastermind kind of group. And then those managers report up to the next level, who is basically helping the managers be better managers while the managers are helping the line people be better line people. So I think that he's right, but also it's not. Amazon doesn't, I believe, have the AWS team as only 10 people.
Right. Yeah. Obviously not. Yeah. There's more than that working at Amazon. And I agree with you. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be management functions, and I think having multiple layers of management at scale is completely appropriate. What I see happen a lot of times on some of these teams is you'll have a manager, and then because somebody has been on the team for a while, they're like, well, I really want somebody to manage. I want to ascend. I want to grow in my career. So, can you make me a manager? And so now this person is a manager of like one person. And then because they believe that that is what, growing in the company looks like, then they begin to pass that down. And what you have are these stick-like organizations where it's literally one manager who has like one or two direct reports, both of which are managers, who have one or two direct reports who are also managers. And it's like nobody's actually doing the work. And so I do believe that in general, flatter is better than stick-like.
For sure. And we just said this too, like what does it mean to lead? And I said this to one of my other business partners, and I think he took a little bit of, offense to it, but it wasn't said with anything except the desire to get us to the next level. And it was that we have some people who have been brought on as the company is growing, and they have different views than the founders. And they're coming from more, because the company is getting bigger, these people that we're bringing in are coming from more traditional, hierarchical, non-entrepreneurial positions and companies. And they're in support functions, in the like HR, legal, finance, all of those kinds of things. And they've got their views, which are certainly valid based on their experiences, but they're not entrepreneurs. And so then they're coming in and they're saying, well, you need to do it this way. This is the way it's done. And there's a little bit of friction. And so one of the managers was saying, well, let's do it both ways. And it's like, you can't. I mean, you can listen to those people for the input they offer, but ultimately a leader is going to say, look, this is the hill we're going to take. You need to march in that direction, and then you need to either agree, disagree, and commit, or it's not a fit for you.